msn.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
Each second we live is a new and unique moment of the universe, a moment that will never be again. And what do we teach our children? We teach them that 2 and 2 make 4, and that Paris is the capital of France. When will we also teach them what they are? We should say to each of them, "Do you know what you are? You are a marvel. You are unique. In all the years that have passed, there has never been another child like you. Your legs, your arms, your clever fingers, the way you move. You may become a Shakespeare, a Michelangelo, a Beethoven. You have the capacity for anything. Yes, you are a marvel. And when you grow up, can you then harm another who is, like you, a marvel? You must work. We must all work to make the world worthy of its children."
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
Children learn what they read. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake to love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with friends, he learns justice.
Children learn what they read. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake to love in the heart. They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in their heart, and they will find love in the world. Children.
It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and 2022 marks the start of the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 9th day of the 5th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. It's also the 9th day of the 1st month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. The American Hospital Association is marking May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Here in Jamaica, May is National Exporters Month, Child Month, Workers Month, and Education Month. Elsewhere, today is being celebrated under various banners: War Veterans Day, Victory Day, Liberation Day, Memorial Day, and Heroes Day, from Azerbaijan to Guernsey, Jersey to Latvia and Kazakhstan, from Bosnia-Herzegovina to Armenia, Kyrgyzstan to Montenegro, Russia and Tajikistan, from Ukraine to Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan and Belarus, where they're also celebrating Mother's Day. It's Europe Day in Europe. Hoy es lunes, el 9 de mayo 2022, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 9 mai 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez, où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 13h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
All we're saying is it's Monday, the 9th of May, 2022, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. If you're in the US and you wish to dial a number to listen to Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM, your number is 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. There's more after the break.
Walk into Marjan's
How long
Pharmacy
is the
and
break?
you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15.
Combo pack of the feeling best. Sunshine stacks up of the rest. There is no contest, it's best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. We got cheesy, so much caramel crunch, potato chips, well come and get it, yeah. Combo pack of the feeling best. Sunshine stacks up of the rest. There is no contest, it's best mix, so we feeling best. Enjoy Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack. Best mix, best value, best mix, so we feeling best.
Attention plumbers, contractors, homeowners. If you need plumbing, see Master Plumber for genuine and hard-to-get plumbing materials, spare parts, hardware and household items. From Makati Street, Montego Bay, 952-0001. Master Plumber, we have the plumbing for your water.
Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor Agricare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor Agricare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
They will find love in the world.
child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fullness, he learns justice.
Children learn what they need. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait in love in the heart. They will find love in the world.
Once again, if you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. Today is Europe Day, and of course, we're still in Child Month. And we mentioned Victory Day. It is Victory Day, marking the end of World War II in Europe, specifically the fall of Nazi forces to the Allies being the United Kingdom, Soviet Union, France, the United States, and other principal Allied nations. Many of those countries celebrated Victory Day yesterday on Mother's Day. However, in Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, and other countries of the former Soviet Union, the Day of Victory over Nazi Germany is celebrated on this day, the 9th of May, because when the German instrument of surrender actually entered into force at a minute past 11 Central European time, it was already the 9th of May by Moscow time. Some post-Soviet countries, most notably the Russian Federation, have continued that tradition. Some more history for you. Let's go back to 1494. After spending 3 days at Dry Harbor, or Puerto Seco, where he first landed in Jamaica, Christopher Columbus sailed further west along the coast and arrived at a gulf he named El Golfo de Bien Tiempo, El Golfo de Bien Tiempo, the Gulf of Fairweather, or which is now known as Montego Bay. Montego Bay has evolved. That area used to be, they used to have a lot of wild pigs running up and down in Montego Bay. And the general practice was to use the pigs for what is known as lard. And the Spanish, as I understand it, for lard is manteca. And so they call the place Bahia Manteca, Lard Bay. And then when the English captured Jamaica from the Spanish, they took it upon them. Well, they essentially corrupted the language, and Manteca evolved and became Montego. And of course, Bahia for bay, Montego Bay. So that's for those who are accustomed to Puerto Seco Beach, whether in its previous state or its current incarnation. It means dry harbor. Puerto means port. Puerto Seco. Puerto Seco. Seco means dry. So Puerto Seco. Dry, literally dry port, but it's dry harbor, properly put. And Runaway Bay in St. Anne. But hold on. Let's go to 1509. Christopher Columbus left Spain on his final trip to the New World on this day in 1509. In 1660, Runaway Bay in St. Anne. Let's give you the history. Runaway Bay in St. Anne is so named because it is claimed that this was the port from which Don Cristobal de Sassy, the last Spanish governor, pursued by the English, left the island. This was after he fought for 5 years to recapture the island from the English. Ysassy, which is spelled Yasassi, Ysassy escaped to Cuba, arriving there on this day in 1660. This brought an end to Spanish occupation of Jamaica, and the island was officially ceded to England by the Treaty of Madrid. So that was that. Now let's see if we can give you another one. That's the mood we're in this afternoon, actually. So John Brown must be one of the most famous names in the world, or the most common names in the world, the most common combination of a name in the world. There's a John Brown who was born on this day in 1800. He was a revolutionary abolitionist from the United States who advocated and practiced armed insurrection as a means to abolish slavery for good. So that was John Brown of the 1800s. And let's look at 1845. The first 261 indentured laborers from India arrived at Old Harbor Bay in St. Catherine on board the Blundell Hunter. That was the name of a ship, the Blundell Hunter. They were processed by immigration officers and were allowed to land and travel to Hall's Hall. We have a tendency in Jamaica to say Hall's Hall. It's not Hall's Hall. It's Hall's Hall, Halse, Hall's Hall. So the Indians, the 261 indentured laborers from India, arrived at Old Harbor Bay in St. Catherine on board the ship known as Blundell Hunter. They were processed by immigration officers and allowed to land and travel to Hall's Hall, Clarendon, and the Marmy Bay, I beg your pardon, not Marmy Bay, it wasn't so called back then, it was Marmy Gull Estates, where they had been connected. I beg your pardon, they were contracted to work. So this 1845, as we've mentioned on this program over the years, that's the year when the first group of Indians was brought to Jamaica. Yes, I said first group of Indians was. Indians is not the subject. Group is the subject. First group of Indians was brought to Jamaica in 1845. Now, the first group of Chinese, to remember when the first group of Chinese was brought to Jamaica, flip the 4 and the 5. The first group of Chinese was brought to Jamaica in 1854, whereas the first group of Indians was brought to Jamaica in 1845. 1845 is also significant because that's the year that the rail service in Jamaica was established. It cost about £220,000 back then, but it started in 1845 and making Jamaica one of the first, around number 3 in the world, to have a rail service. It's such a pity that we've been struggling since about 1992 to get the rail service going again in its original form. Whether that will happen in the pretty near future, who knows? Just recently, we had a Jamaican based in the UK who flew into Jamaica along with a team from Birmingham, and they are in touch with the University of Technology in setting up a rail service that can do some kind of a city tour that would take people tourists from downtown, let's say on the waterfront, or for argument's sake, and then take them up to Trenchtown and other communities of cultural significance. So let's see how that pans out. In the meantime, if the great shipbuilder Henry J. Kaiser was born on this day in 1882. And if the name sounds familiar, yes, you're spot on. Synonymous with the bauxite industry, yes. The great shipbuilder Henry J. Kaiser was born on this day in 1882. Henry J. Kaiser was an American industrialist who became known as the father of modern American shipbuilding. He established the Kaiser Shipyard, which built Liberty ships during World War II, after which he formed Kaiser Aluminum and Kaiser Steel. Kaiser organized Kaiser Permanente. They're still in operation. In fact, they're one of the sponsors of the annual David Wagahunt Scholarship fundraiser scholarship gala held in Washington, D.C., usually around Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Those sponsors, this company, Kaiser Permanente, is still in operation, and they're one of the biggest sponsors of this Calabar KC fundraiser. Calabar KC, yes, because the coach, let's see, David Wagahunt, Waga was his nickname, David Wagahunt attended Kingston College, and he successfully coached Calabar to Manning Cup victory. So when he died, sadly, a few years ago, several years ago, his family and friends came up with the idea to start a foundation in his honor. And so ever since the foundation was established, what they do is to raise funds to provide scholarships for students of Calabar and KC. So if it's 12 scholarships, Calabar gets 6, KC 6. And it's like $100,000 a year that they get to take care of all their school expenses. So you see, it's for those of us who read and we know certain things, it's so easy to connect the dots. It's very easy to connect the dots. And yeah, that's one of the things I like about reading. You read and you learn something, and you're able to make a connection with something else, and then another thing, and yeah. And that's one of the fun things about history. History is fun. On this day in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson issued a presidential proclamation that officially establishes the first National Mother's Day holiday to celebrate America's mothers. The idea for a Mother's Day is credited to Julia Ward Howe and by others to Anna Jarvis, who both suggested a holiday dedicated to a day of peace. Many individual states celebrated Mother's Day by 1911, but it was not until Woodrow Wilson lobbied Congress in 1914 that Mother's Day was officially set on the second Sunday of every May. In his first Mother's Day proclamation, Woodrow Wilson stated that the holiday offered a chance to publicly express our love and reverence for the mothers of the country. More in a moment.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Good news! Private HIV care is now more affordable with Health Connect Jamaica. What that means is you can access HIV care with a private doctor at little to no cost. Give us a call at 876-669-7349 or book an appointment at healthconnectja.com today. The preceding ad was brought to you in partnership with
Advantage
USAID.
General Insurance Company wishes to advise the public that their new Kingston branch and claims offices at 4 to 6 Trafalgar Road has moved to 70 to 72 Lady Musgrave Road. Advantage General Insurance Company looks forward to serving you at 70 to 72 Lady Musgrave Road. Advantage General Insurance Company, a revolutionary digital experience awaits.
Your taxes hold the key.
Tax Administration Jamaica presents Make We Talk Tax, Wednesdays at 3:15 p.m. on both sides of the story, a program that educates and informs taxpayers of the various payment options and services available at Tax Administration Jamaica and the ease of doing business. Make We Talk Tax is a production of Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112. I beg your pardon, let's do that again. 876-922-4113 to 5. Those are the numbers specific to Land Solutions this afternoon. 876-922-4113 to 5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6, upstairs the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the offices, the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. Call ahead and you will be advised accordingly. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. The number to call for the Ocho Rios office of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company: 876-974-6083. 876-974-6083. And you're reminded that a lawyer is on duty at the Ocho Rios office every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. In a moment, let's say good afternoon and welcome to the host of Land Solutions for today, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. And we're hoping that we can solve some of the problems this week. I have been saying to some of the persons coming to my office that I have now become a fireman or a firewoman because all I seem to be doing is outing fires. Because a lot of the persons are only coming to the office when they are in trouble. And I'm encouraging my listeners, get the title before you have a problem. Get the title before you go to pay the taxes and realize somebody has paid it already. Or the taxes are no longer in your name. Or you go to serve, you realize somebody has come to survey the property or you're served a notice. These are the things that are bringing persons into our office and we're a little bit, our offices, and we're a little bit concerned. I've said before on this program that there seems to be a land grab underway. I think persons are realizing the value of the land more than ever, Jamaica's land. Lands in Jamaica, people are realizing more than ever the value, and people are trying to get the land, whether by fair means or foul means. And I'm encouraging my listeners, you have a piece of land, it's there in your name, it's not in your name, you're paying the taxes, you're on it, but you don't have a title for it. Get a title before you run into problems. Because when you come into my office and you run into problems, you want the title yesterday. Not even today, you want it yesterday, and you can't understand why you can't get it yesterday. And since COVID, we're having problems. Even some parts of the NLA now under quarantine. And that's going to be happening every now and then. So the process has got really slow. But those of us who listened to the Minister of Justice, Dervan, talking last week, he was saying exactly what I've been saying on the program. The dates we are getting for court matters now, some of the dates we are getting 2028 for the next days we are going to appear in court on some of these court matters. Can you imagine? 2028 for the next court date. So realize we have a problem. So I'm saying to persons, sort out your matters now. Sort it out while you don't have a problem. Don't wait until you have a problem. The numbers to call 922-411-325. 876-922-411-325. And remember, I'll be in Ocho this Thursday. I'll be in the Ocho office this Thursday between 10 and 1. Between 10 and 1 this Thursday. And as Dervan told you earlier, give us a call. So we can tell you, don't come this week because you don't have XYZ. And if you are coming to get a title for the first time, make sure you have a survey diagram. When you come with a survey diagram, most times we can start right away. And I have noticed that in the applications for titles now, the referees are asking for old tax papers. Because a lot of time persons don't have any documentation to show how they got the land. But if you can show I've been paying the tax, even paying taxes can't make you owner really. But if you can show I've been paying the tax or I have a light bill. Okay, I got electricity 10, 20 years ago. We can write to JPS to see when you got it. I have water that I've had water rate. I've been getting a water bill for years. Those will help. But also they're asking for photographs of the property. You say I have a house on it, they're asking for photographs. So we're going to be asking our clients more than ever now to bring a colored photograph. I'm going 4 or 5 from different angles of whatever you have on the property. If it's a farm, give us photographs of that. So the numbers to call 922-411-325. And the text line, the WhatsApp line, you want to send me a message, 387-3183. 387-3183 is the WhatsApp line or the text line. So please send me a message. Or give us a call, 922-411-325. And we recognize that even though we have been preaching the message, there are other persons have been taking us on in terms of making the wills, but still not enough persons. And I want to encourage persons to make the will. But if a relative has not made a will and the person dies without a will, we say the person died intestate. So we have to apply for letters of administration. And sometimes the clients will they will try to get assets the person died leaving, and they are told that they need letters of administration, and they come into the office and think it's a letter I can write right away. But the letters of administration, it's just like a probate. It's a document that you get called a grant. Well, sometimes we call it a grant of administration. It's like when a person dies and leaves a will, then you probate the will, which means you take the will to court and get the court to give an order giving you permission to share, to give the executor's permission to share whatever the person died leaving. If the person died without a will, then you're going to apply for a grant of administration or letters of administration. And that's a court order. That's taking more than a year to get what is called a letter. It's a one-page document, but it's taking more than a year to get, so you need to act quickly. And I wanted to look a little bit more about the grant of administration, because a lot of times persons might say, I don't have anything, so I'm not going to make a will. But if you die without the will and you are working and paying NHD, remember as it is now, NHD will pay you, will give the contribution refund. When you pay NHD into NHD, it's really like a loan you give into NHD. They're going to pay it back to you. But they paid 7 years in the back. So right now they are paying back, they're giving refunds for persons who have paid in 2015. They're giving you back the money that you paid to them in 2015. So if you die without a will, they will pay back all the 7 years. So if somebody should die in 2022 and the person was paying NHD, then and they don't have any obligations to NHD, then NHD will give back the contribution and refund. They don't wait for the 7 years, they'll give you back the 7 years refund right away. Or if you hadn't claimed before, they give you all the years you haven't claimed. So that's a part of your estate. So whoever is going to administer your estate will have to apply for that. And I want to look in particular, because sometimes that's the only thing that's there in the estate, the NHC benefit. And sometimes you have to wait to see it. Is it really worth my while to pay a lawyer to apply for 100,000? But I know the administrator general as well can sometimes deal with it for persons, even though the persons are adults, when there's not much left in the estate. And I'm thinking about that in relation to motor vehicles as well. Sometimes a person dies leaving a motor vehicle and you want to sell it, but of course you can't transfer the title because it's not in your name, it's in the name of the person who has died. You need the letters of administration. And sometimes when you see the amount of back license, as we call it, that the person has died, that the person that has accumulated over time. So if a person dies and needs a motor vehicle, I'm going to encourage you to take off the plates and turn it into the tax office. Or if you have an old vehicle parked at home and we plan to fix it every year, take off the plates and turn them into the tax office, or you're going to have to be paying all of that motorized registration fee right up for the many years you have not paid it. And sometimes when you look and see how much has accumulated on some of these old vehicles, what you owe the tax office is more than it's worth. That's something I'm saying, because that vehicle was a part of the estate. But you find you have a great obligation now to the tax office to pay back all this back money because the person did not transfer it in the lifetime or did nothing about it in terms of the transfer. All right, so those are some of the things that you have to look into. So all of these things are part of your assets in part of your estate. You might say, I never died leaving anything, the person never died leaving anything, or I don't have anything, so I'm not going to make a will. But the motor vehicle you have there, that's a part of your estate. The NHC contribution refund, that's a part of the estate. The old family land, you have an interest in that as well. So there might be assets that you take for granted. So I want us to get in the culture of making a will, where as soon as you reach 18, we just write something. I leave all I have to my parents. And then as you get more assets, then you redo the will. Numbers to call 922-411-325. And the text line or the WhatsApp line 387-3183. 876-387-3183. You can send a regular text message or you can send a WhatsApp message. And remember that we have an office in Ocherius. We have an office in Ocherius, and I will be there this Thursday. It's on the Jamaica National Building, upstairs, shop 6. And I'll be there between 10 and 1. And we have an office in Winchester Business Center, which is at 15 Hope Road. That's in Halfway Tree. Winchester Business Center, 15 Hope Road. So I'm encouraging persons to please, as best as you can, try to see us before you have a problem, as I said earlier. Try to see us to help you to solve whatever problems you're having in relation to land. The numbers to call, as I said, 922-411-325, and the text line 387-3183. You can send us a WhatsApp message or a regular message.
One moment, please, Ms. Brown. We need to take a break.
Thank you, Dervan.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
The Pesticides Control Authority, PCA, of the Ministry of Health has been onboarded to the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. Effective April 11, 2022, the Pesticides Control Authority, PCA, has been facilitating online applications of all import permits for pesticides, herbicides, fumigants, and other related products. Traders and their agents will now be able to make online application to obtain both pre- and approved permits and also make payment for the PCA import cess. Benefits include a single application for multiple items within the same shipment, faster processing, increased convenience, and the ease of doing business. The PCA import permit service now on J-SWIFT.
HyproAce Supercenter is now online at www.hyproace.com. Shop online for tools, housewares, paint, plumbing, hardware, gardening supplies, feeds, and pet supplies at highproace.com and get them delivered to your door or pick up in store. Only 15 minutes from Kingston, just off the New Mandela Highway. We're open till 6 p.m. Shop online anytime at highproace.com. Highpro Ace Super Center. It's all here.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Colonel Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Farmers, farm store owners, Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica Limited has all the answers for your farming needs. Tune in every Wednesday during Farm Talk for the feature Farming Today, as we educate you on how to farm smarter. That's Farming Today, every Wednesday during Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica Limited, 2 East Ashenheim Road, Kingston.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5, 876-922-4113-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-387-3183, 876-387-3183. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office in Ocho Rios, St. Anne, Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building. They encourage their clients and potential clients to call ahead instead of just turning up. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. If you wish to get in touch with the Ocho Rios office, you can call 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. And remember, a lawyer is on duty at the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company, Shop 6, upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. And that lawyer is on duty from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this Thursday, it will be Attorney at Law Gloria Brown's turn to host that session Thursday morning from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the meantime, let's get back to Ms. Brown on today's edition of Land Solutions.
Thank you, Dervan. Welcome back to a text message asking about the powers of the executor. Executor is a very powerful person. I've said that more than once. The executor is a person who is going to step in the shoes of a person who has died. So the executor takes over the estate of the deceased person. So whatever the dead person could do, when the executor has got the grant of probate, the executor can do exactly what the person who died could do. So the person who died could sell the property, the executor can sell. The person who died could mortgage the property, the executor can mortgage. So even though you might put in your will that a property is not to be sold, the executor has the right to sell the property. The executor has the right to sell, to mortgage. So executors have power. So choose your executors carefully. Choose persons you can trust, persons you have confidence in. And remember, you can have as many as 4 executors. So make sure when you choose four, even one of them must be there who will, who will ensure that things go right. And I've always said the beneficiaries, and I say it again as I just said, are the best executors. Sometimes you might choose the community, the person in the community with a great standing. But that person might not have any interest in ensuring that things go through, because that person might say, well, nothing is there for me. I've had that said before with persons. Said nothing is in the will for me, so why should I bother to probate? And they sit on the will for years. So I'm encouraging us. Look from now on, start look around. You have children, and you're going to leave it for them. They are somewhere responsible, make them the executors. Your spouse, make your spouse the executor. The people you are within the property, to make them your executors, and you can have as many as four. Also remember, the executors are entitled to 6% of whatever you died leaving. So you have a house value of $10 million, executors are to get $600,000. So that's important.
A caller for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You hear me?
Yes, I am.
Yes. I have a problem. My father died. So when he died, I really used title. So instead of a title to use, I run with it because I don't do any money. But when my father died, the title is still in the bank. So the bank is putting me after it. I went to my attorney to get the title from the bank.
Who made a will?
Pardon?
Your father never made a will.
You mean say I heard him talk about a will and person who become a minister says supposed to have the will, executive. The lady, she's saying she don't remember about that.
All right, so you need to administer. So when they say it's not a letter from a lawyer, it's a letter from administer. The lawyer needs to administer. The lawyer needs to administer on the estate, apply for letters of administration to administer the estate. And it's going to take you about a year or more to get that letter. Because the bank can't just give you the title like that. They have to protect themselves, because they might give it to you and then the other brother come for it and the other sister come for it. So go to the lawyer and take the death certificate with you. You might have to get a copy of the title from title's office to take to the lawyer. Wonderful. So carry that and the death certificate. You also have to have the address and the occupation and the TRA for all your brothers and sisters.
You know, so my last, the first brother is our sister Cynthia, the one is 60.
Right. Just order that to the lawyer, and the lawyer will apply for the administration for you, and the property is going to belong to all of the children.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Okay. I
have very concern that I want to share.
But where is the will?
And it
I don't know.
Right. If you don't have any will, then you're going to have to administer. You're going to have to go for all the children.
And the sun quarries.
Okay. I know they understand everything. I will cooperate.
All right, my brother. So go and see a lawyer as soon as you can.
Yes, what about you?
Yes, we're glad to look after it for you. Yes, you can come and see us. We're glad to look after it for you.
Everything like that, we never really tried. I don't get the cost of the life.
Come and see us and we'll help you.
Alright. I'm really monkey again.
Okay, you can see me in Ocean.
Okay, alright.
Take care.
Another one for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Brown.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm calling on behalf of a friend of mine. Her father is up in age. They're living on property that he said was handed down to him.
Yes.
They do not have a title for the property, and I've been encouraging her to sort matters out before, God forbid, he passed away.
Exactly, sir.
Indeed. Can Lamp assist with this situation? She's living in St. Elizabeth.
You'd have to ask them. I don't know if they do St. Elizabeth. You'd have to call and ask them.
Is mud.
How much of a challenge do you think this situation is?
Each time
I don't think it will be much of a challenge if they have been there for more than 12 years.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So what I would encourage her to do right now is to survey the property.
Minimal
So they're
space.
the piece that they occupy.
And water
Yeah.
always
Because
dirty,
anywhere you
muddy.
go, they're going to need that. And when you have a survey, you can the process can start right away.
Days.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
one day I went down
Another
there and
thing,
when I saw
grandmother
the condition
died
of those
without
two
leaving away. The beneficiaries
stream
they was living
with
on the
fish
property.
was dying.
They had the
And that
title,
day
but
I even catch
somehow it has
about
disappeared.
2 bags of fish. I
Is
really
it possible for them
caught
to?
and carry over that
When
day.
did she die?
But I forget to
She
work.
died
I
about
forget
10
to
years ago.
work and do some
Okay.
transferring of
They can
fish
only
from
replace
that
the title after they
pond
administer the estate.
to the river.
Oh,
Just to
okay.
save some
But
life.
each child has
Maybe
his own
2 days.
own house
I
on
have
it.
to go down there 2 days. Just to
No,
transfer
they're all
the
in the
fish them
same house.
from one
Oh,
pond
all
to
right.
the
Okay. So
next
they
one.
need to just get a
Just to
copy
save
of
some
the
life.
title
And
and administer the
you
estate
know,
and then do a lost title
those
application.
ponds
Register
continue
the title. So it's not
until
it's
it
not a
blocked up,
serious problem.
full of mud.
Okay,
There's no
gotcha,
more pond, just
gotcha.
one river
Yeah.
there
All right,
right
I do
now. And
appreciate the
since
job you
I
have been
went
doing,
down
Mr.
there and
Thank you.
what
I
I
much
found out
appreciate
is
your
that one river that is
recommendation. Thank
left,
you so much.
the crusher
Absolutely.
quarry
With the job
is
that you're
running
doing,
water
it sheds a lot of light
in
and
that
reduce my feet. You know what I
stream
mean?
now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
I think
it's
persons have really
causing
been learning.
the same problem right now.
Absolutely. Keep up the good work.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
And
Trevor.
that
Thank you
river
so
is
much,
there
too.
were a lot of crocodiles. And
Okay.
when I went down there
The
since
number
here, I
to
just
call
really
is
met one crocodile
922411325.
on the scene right
And
now.
the text line is
And it really
3873183.
It really doing a lot
3873183.
in this
And we
quarry,
really do
this sand
appreciate
quarry.
how persons have
And
been,
I think
taking the
I don't
information we have been given and have been really learning from it. I see that in terms of the questions
why
persons
not
come
see
into
no
the
right.
office and ask,
But it bothering
and
me
how prepared a lot of persons
because
are when
can't
they
do
come
without
in.
the fishes. Can't
A
do
gentleman
without
came and saw me last week, and I had to
whatever.
tell him he came from rural
So
St.
that
Andrew that
needs
he's the
somebody
most
to really
prepared client I've ever seen in a long time.
and
He
do
wanted me
something
to get
about
a
it because
title
we
for
cannot
him.
just have these
He has a title,
quarries
but he wants to
running
get a
dirty water
portion
in the
off.
rivers and killing off all
And
the
he had his
fishes and
subdivision approval, he had
people
his
living in the
survey
water.
diagram, he had his
There was
road
the
and road
same thing
certificate.
in
He was just so well prepared.
There's
And
two
because he
river
listened to the
from
program and he has been taking notes, and I was so proud of him. I had to give him a substantial discount. When you see, and he's an older
and right
person.
now in that river,
When you see somebody so prepared, it was impressive. And I've seen a little bit more and more of that in terms of persons knowing what to come into the office with. So I know the program has been serving its purpose in terms of educating our fellow Jamaicans the value of the land. And we see what is happening around. We see every corner you look, there's a development going on. The land has becoming more and more valuable, which is why I'm encouraging persons. Sort out the land thing and don't just go and just sell your piece of land like that because you want to buy a car. You can't sell land to buy a car.
It caused a lot of problems.
Okay, you can't. And a lot of times when you sell, you'll never be able to buy back again. So be careful what you do. Invest in your land. Especially if you have children. A lot of them will not be able to buy land in the future the way it's happening now. So try to preserve what you have for them. And try to, so that each generation can be better off. We don't want each generation to be starting over. We want so we can create wealth as black people. Although not all of us are black people, but I'm talking the majority of us. Let us try to create wealth for our children, for the next generation. So they're not starting from scratch, not starting over. Because if we create a lot of the wealth, maybe a lot of our children would probably go the right way instead of the wrong way, a lot of what we're seeing now. We're going to take a break now. This is Land Solution.
I went down here the other day.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. There's a retirement crisis in Jamaica, with only approximately 10% of the working population saving towards retirement. Many people do not participate in a formal pension plan, such as contract workers and the self-employed, and some are not eligible for a government pension. Every member of the workforce has the opportunity to participate in a pension plan and secure a monthly income for their retirement. Join Real Business every Monday at 9:30 a.m. for an informative discussion with Peter Rose Hall, Managing Director of BPM Financial, discussing the importance of retirement planning and the solutions to move Jamaica out of this crisis. Retirement Wealth Creation is brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher.
Land Solutions during both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Here are the numbers for you to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number: 876 387 3183. 876 387 3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. Facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. That's shop number 6 upstairs, the JN building in the heart of Ocho Rios. You can call them directly at the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company. That number is 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. And of course, there are the regular numbers, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. A lawyer is on duty at the Ocho Rios offices of Brown, Findley and Company every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Welcome back, listeners. And remember, you can give us a call, 922-411-325, or send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183, the WhatsApp number, or a regular text message. And in terms of the person who has sent the WhatsApp message asking about paying rent when you have got notice, yes, you have to still pay rent, even though you have got notice to vacate the property. Because look at it this way: suppose you don't get anywhere to go for the next year, would you say you're still in the people's property for the next year and you're not going to pay rent? Look at it that way. So as long as you have got notice, you need to pay rent right up until the day you vacate the property. Numbers to call 922-411-325, and the text line or the WhatsApp line 387-3183, or you can send me an email, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And in terms of the listener who called earlier about the father of his friend, and the father is of advanced age. That's exactly what we have been trying to preach to the older generation. Don't wait until the last minute or you have passed on and then you leave the problem with the children. Because there's this tendency where persons wait until older persons die. And I'm seeing quite a bit of it a part of the land grab. Only to hear, oh, your father did sell me this piece of the land before he died. I don't come forward when daddy's alive, you know. But as soon as daddy died, you hear that he has sold them a piece of the land or all of the land. Or you have persons come forward now to say, daddy didn't buy the land, it was our fatherland and we want it back. You have a lot of that. So I'm asking persons, sort out the title, because when you have a registered title, nobody can come forward to claim the land. The only way they can defeat your title is if they can show that you got it by fraud. That's the only way you can defeat the registered title. You have to show that you got it fraudulently. So, older generation, I beg of you, don't hide it from your children, your grandchildren. Keep them in the loop. Also, let them know.
Perhaps you could complete that thought and then go to the next caller, Ms. Brown.
Yes, Vincent. Yes, Dervan, thank you. Also, let the listener, let your children know the pegs, the boundary for the land. So they can know when they are going to get the survey, let them know the boundary. Because that's very, very important as well. Thanks, Dervan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Yes, how are you?
Doing well. All right, so let me just start that I like your fierce and dogmatic approach to matters concerning properties.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, so I'm calling on behalf of a friend.
Yes.
Now, his dad has a situation whereby he was in somewhat of a partnership to do a development with a third party. Now, there are several lots involved. I think about 7 lots in total. Now, the arrangement was for that third party to assist with the general infrastructure, road, water, stuff like that. However, that fell through. Now, the friend's dad would have had a loan on the property. So there was some sort of arrangement, monetary arrangement involved. Now, the third party died. However, his attorney has possession of the title, right?
Yes.
Now, my friends that now would like to get back the title, but he later learned that there's a caveat that was lodged. Now, he would have also entered into arrangement prior to the caveat, whereby he would have sold about 2 of the lots.
Yes.
And now those persons would want to get a title. So would like for your recommendation.
All right. So what is the obligation? What does he owe the joint venture partner who was to do the road? So what is there money owed to the gentleman who was supposed to do the infrastructure?
Not sure of the sums, but yes, there was monies involved.
So money is still owing to that person?
He would have died recently.
So because you need to come to an agreement with that person's lawyer to see exactly how much is owing to that person. Because maybe what is owed to that person, 2 or 3 lots would cover it. So they can release the lots to these these purchasers. But who has lodged the caveat?
The third party would have lodged the caveat through his attorney.
So it's just for the attorney to negotiate, because maybe they can agree to say 7 lots. What is owed to him, will hold back 2 lots to cover that, so we can discuss that. But let us release those that have been purchased. So attorney to attorney need to negotiate. Because if he can't hold on to the 7 lots, that would not. I don't think what is owed to him with the 7 lots would cover.
Yes, that's it. And there's actually a dwelling house involved.
Yes, so maybe they just need to talk to the lawyers. Just lawyers and lawyers need to talk and come to an arrangement how much is there. So you could even say to him, let us allow you to let the caveat stay on lots 5 and 6.
Yes, agree.
And give permission. So you can do a partial release for the caveat in terms of some of the lots. So it will not be a problem.
So being that the third party died, maybe once his estate, the attorney would now represent his estate.
Yes, I need to act on it quickly. But the attorney and the beneficiaries could come to an agreement, because the attorney can release the caveat.
Oh.
Yes. Because we know the administration is going to take long, and the attorney has an obligation to mitigate the loss that this man is going to face.
Okay, understand. Yes. All right, much appreciated.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
This is a matter that you could handle as well?
Yes, but what about his attorney that he had before when he was doing all of this? Or they both had the same attorney?
No, and the third part, the owner is actually now living abroad.
Okay, so where is that? Where's the owner's attorney?
There's no attorney on the owner's behalf. So we'll have signed some documents and stuff like that, but he's not certain as to what exactly was signed. He doesn't recall.
All right, we need to get copies of the documentation. All right, give me a call tomorrow when I'm in office.
All right, much appreciated. You're doing a wonderful job, sister.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. Sure, bye-bye. Bye. The number to call 922-411-325. And that is an example of what I've always said, that it's two parties to have separate attorneys, because he should have had an attorney as well protecting his interests. But what is a caveat? Because you hear sometimes we take these things for granted. When he said, the caller said somebody has lodged a caveat is a block. So that caveat goes on a title to prevent you from borrowing money, from mortgaging the property, or from selling the property. So this caveat has been put to prevent the owner from doing anything else on the property until they come to an agreement. But as I was saying, they can come to an agreement to say, okay, until we settle this matter, we're not going to allow you to sell 2 of the lots or 3 of the lots. And we're going to leave the caveat on those 3 lots, but we'll allow you to splinter and sell the other 4. So agreement can be possible.
Here's another, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Miss Brown.
Yes, how are you?
You know I can call by your office and talk to you, but I'm, bigging up on the radio. We call it now, after Mother's Day gone.
Thanks.
Wish you, the thing will return Mother's Day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't remember the name right now. It's slipped me.
Oh, the belated
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Yes,
yeah, I hope everything was beautiful for you yesterday, but the children, husband, and everyone around you make you enjoy yourself, love you, and take care of you.
Yes, indeed.
And still nice with you still. This morning you're doing a wonderful work, and you take the stress off of the nation and the people with the land business,
Yes, I think we're doing
yeah, man, I want you to continue still, I come to you too tonight face to face, so I have a little matter soon, big up. I soon come forward, come check you still, but I know to reach you still. I come by office too time already. So have a wonderful evening and a blessed time here, Miss, and enjoy your work that you're doing. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you, my brother. Blessings. Numbers to call 922-411-325, and the text line or the WhatsApp line 387-3183. 387-3183. And remember, you can send me an email, glory@landsolutionsja.com, glory@landsolutionsja.com, and I'll be in my Ucherius office this Thursday. So give me a call before you come so I can tell you what I need. Because sometimes you have there persons come from Westmoreland, from St. James, St. Mary, a lot of persons from St. Mary, and of course St. Anne. So we'd love for you to talk to us before.
Here's another.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello, and thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I have been trying to find out about my great-grandmother's land, and I found out that she is still named on the tax administration property tax form.
Yes.
And so I was, this is going back. She would have been, my grandmother died at 96. So this is going back a long time when my great-grandmother died. And I want to know, what can I do to get that land back in the family down the line?
But who is occupying the property? That's the important question.
Actually, at the moment, nobody. It's just there. It has been wished out to keep it tidy, but nobody is living there or out there.
Wonderful. It's just that you're going to have a lot of work to do now.
Okay.
So when was the last time somebody lived on it?
What?
Guess what? I'm up on a time signal. I'm going to ask you to give me a call in my office tomorrow so I can give you some guidance.
Okay. What can I get the number from the producer or something?
Yes, so I just keep listening and I will say my WhatsApp number and you give me a WhatsApp call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you very much.
This is Land Solutions.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3:15. The best of youth in agriculture will be on display when the Jamaica 4-H Clubs presents National Achievement Expo blended version under the theme Youth in Agriculture, strengthening food security through innovation and technology. 4-H Training Center, Denby, Clarendon. Come see agricultural food production and technology displays. Don't miss the Youth Farmers Market, prize giving exercise, and much more. Join us virtually on social media, Facebook, Clover TV, YouTube, and Zoom. Friday, May 13, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. p.m. Sponsored by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Jamaica Dairy Development Board, Digicel Foundation, Joan Duncan JMMB Foundation, and H&L Agro Plant Quarantine Division.
Under the Law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. We've been doing it for 15 years. That's right. Join us on Thursdays at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and at 9:55 p.m. Compliments of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, educating, advocating, empowering. Under the Law, Thursdays on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. The numbers to call 876-922-4113-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-387-3183. The numbers to reach the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518, or you could get in touch with the Ocho Rios office if that works better for you, and it's 876-974-6083. That's 876-974-6083. A lawyer is on duty every Thursday at the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company. And the lawyer is usually there from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this Thursday, it should be attorney at law Gloria Brown. But first, she has business to take care of right here. Back to you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Welcome back to Land Solutions. Numbers to call 922-411-325. And the text line or the WhatsApp line, 387-3183. Okay. So this person wants us to apply for a TRN for their relative who is abroad, and yes, we do that in office. The TRN, for those who might be abroad and not too sure what it is, it's a unique identifier, a unique identification number. It is also our driver's license number. And it is, you can't do business in Jamaica, so you can't without it. You can't put your name on a title, apply for a title, sell land, buy land without a TRN. So even if you have never been to Jamaica, sometimes I have my clients pushing back at me when they want to add their children to the title, and I ask what's the TRN for the children, and they say the children don't have any TRN and they will never come to Jamaica and they weren't born in Jamaica. We just have to get it. And we will gladly get it for you. Very, 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 very easy to get for you. So we get them for our clients. So you don't have to come to Jamaica for it. All you have to do is complete the TRN form, the one that says individual, and get your ID, a photo ID certified, and just do a letter to us giving permission, or even to your relatives giving permission for John Brown to apply for the TRN for you. The thing, even though there's no space on the TRN form for the notary, for those abroad, for the notary to sign, still let the notary sign a little space and sign before somewhere near your name. Because a lot of times we run into problems because the signature that you have on the letter that you're going to write giving permission for somebody to get it for you, the signature on your ID and the signature on the TRN form must be identical. If they see any little variation, they're not going to allow us to get the TRN. But if the notary signs the form, the TRN form, even when there's a variation, the tax office will accommodate and give the TRN form. And TRN means taxpayer registration number, TRN. So I'm asking my listeners, I know the diaspora station, so a lot of overseas persons will listen. I'm encouraging you, if you come on a visit to Jamaica, just walk into a tax office with your photo ID, that's your driver's license or your passport, and just apply for the TRN. It's one of the easy things to get. The form is easy to complete and it's easy to get. So if you come to Jamaica or you bring the children to Jamaica, just get the TRN. Okay, I don't know if you might need it in the future. Numbers call 922-411-325, and the text line is, or the WhatsApp line is 387-3183. 387-3183. That's one very interesting where the client called to say she's trying to get the title for the grandparents, great grandparents property, and that's what we are encouraging. Because a lot of these persons who bought these properties, they worked so hard. They got it in times when it was hard for the poor to own anything. And I'm not sure if my mother was poor. I'm just saying for a lot of the properties. And I hate when the relatives just, especially when they go abroad and just leave the land like that, and for persons who never work for it to take it. So look about the family land. If you have to sell it, if you know you're not coming back, sell it to buy something where you are living. But don't just leave it like that. Don't just leave the heritage like that. And when you're selling, you can survey off the family plot, survey the rest of the land and leave the family plot where the graves are, so you can keep that and maintain that. Because you really don't want to sell the relatives' graves, so person bulldoze them. We can surrender the title and leave out the family plot and get a new title for the rest of the land. That can be done. And maybe it's an opportunity to dissuade us from burying. We know that Mr. Brown worked hard for his land and really should be buried at the front, right at the gate. But a lot of the lending institutions are not going to lend money on land with graves on them, There are a lot of things that we need to be aware of. Some institutions are saying, no way are we going to lend you money if there's a grave on the property. Because we're not going to, when you don't pay back the money, we are reluctant to sell Mr. Brown's land with his grave on it. Just like we are reluctant to lend money when children are not tight, even when you have a reservation clause to say you can still deal with it. There are a lot of little things that we still need to know, and I'm glad that person continues to listen to me and to listen to Felicia, and to take note of what we're saying. Because if we're going to become a first world country, we have to deal with land in a more structured way. We have to obey the rules in terms of getting the titles and sorting them out and making sure when person dies, it's easy to move to those who are alive. That's another part of it. The process is too difficult as well. So those are some of the things that we want those listening to us to be aware of and to take into account. The importance of sorting out the land, the importance of making sure that you can walk into a bank, into a lending institution any day and get a loan. That is what I use to tell a person whether or not your title is up to date. If you can walk into a lending institution and get a loan, then you know your title is up to date. And I encourage persons to, if you have confidence in your beneficiary, the persons you want to leave what you have to, put them on the title while you're alive. Remember, always encouraging the parents, you're going to put the children on the title, keep a life interest. So the title will say to John Brown for life, and after death to Peter Brown, Mary Brown, Paul Brown, Martha Brown. So when you pass on, you don't have to make a will for that property, because they will get it automatically. So if you will it afterwards to somebody else, they won't get it. It will go to the persons you have put on it. But while you're alive, it is yours. You can sell it without their permission. So it allows you in a way to have your cake and eat it when you have the life interest. You stay on it, it's yours for life. So you decide you want to sell it afterwards, you can sell it. Even though it says after death too, because while you are alive, it's yours. And when we do that, because the people you say must get it after your death, we call them the remainder men. And we will also make them do a disclaimer to say if you sell the property or if you mortgage it, then you have no obligation to them. But those are some of the things we need to consider. So there's still a lot that we need to do. One concern I have as well is in relation to leases. I'm very uncomfortable with leases in Jamaica because we are so indisciplined. You lease somebody a piece of land and they agree that they're not going to put a house or any permanent structure, and the person they're going to tell you, but oh man must live in board house in 2022, and before you look around, it's a 2-story house. I'm very, very reluctant to encourage my clients to lease property to persons because we are just too indisciplined. But it's easy for me to talk again because I probably can afford to buy land. A lot of persons can only afford to lease a house. But when you're leasing property, you need to get proper lease documents in place. Where, for example, you tell the person, if you put a concrete building on it, when the lease is up, the building is mine. But then again, that can cause confusion. So, boy, there's so much to say. But you can put in the lease, you're allowed to put a concrete foundation, but you are not allowed to put a concrete dwelling house, because a lease is something that is not permanent. And another flip side of it is that persons who lease property, they are at such a disadvantage, because even though you have been leasing my property for 50 years, I can get up and sell it tomorrow. The squatter has a better position than the lessee, the person who is leasing, because after 12 years, the squatter can claim. The person who is leasing, as long as you're paying the lease, you can't claim the person's land. As long as you're paying lease, you have no obligation. You have no right to the person's property, and they can give you notice at any time to vacate, whether you're farming it or you're living on it. So that's all the challenges in terms of leasing land. For the lessor, the owner of the land, the challenge is that the indiscipline might cause you to run into problems. For the person who is leasing it, you can get notice at any time. So be careful when you lease, because you might lease property and put up a permanent structure, and then you might have to walk away and leave it. And then we know how we are. We know that's confusion and that's problem. So I'm encouraging persons to look at the situation. And that's why I'm encouraging children as well, who are in school, and parents to encourage your children to really take advantage of the education process. A lot of the children have not gone back to school since COVID. And why am I talking about education? Because I'm saying, if the children really, can get a job later on, whatever the job is, if they can really take in what they have learned, some of them can get excellent skills. If they have the heart program, they can become good mechanics, good plumbers, teachers, lawyers, doctors, farmers, would contribute to the NHT as well. Pay your NHT so you can get a little money to buy a piece of land later on, where you can be able to own your own. And also I want to remind my listeners, if you have lived on land for more than 7 years, before you go and ask for subdivision to be done because you're trying to get a title, give me a call first. And also to the surveyors, don't just run to subdivision surveyors, because a lot of times the clients can get a waiver if they can show they are there for more than 7 years. So don't run to subdivision unless without contacting, because a lot of ways are there now. Especially since 2005 with the Special Provisions Act, there are ways that persons can get some rebates in terms of cost, and also in terms of process, can make the process a little simpler. So don't just run to subdivision, especially the clients can show that they are there for 7 years. How can you show that? The light bill. Right, JPS they will say, I got electricity 7 years ago. JPS will gladly tell you when they got it. Water Commission will do the same thing. And a lot of them will have documentation. They have the old tax papers that they have been paying for 7 years. Anything to show that they have been there for 7 years, they might be able to get some waiver of the subdivision. The challenge is when the title says that the land is not to be subdivided, then they might have to get the modification of the covenant, and then they might have to get the subdivision, or it must be subdivided. But a lot of these titles don't have any condition at all on it. So don't run to subdivision surveyors without checking on that, because we know subdivision is tedious and expensive. What am I saying to my listeners this afternoon? I'm encouraging you to make the wills as I do every week. That's my usual sermon. Make the wills and sort out the title. Survey your land and give me a call. Let me gladly help you to get a title. We'll work with you in terms of cost, in terms of process. We know the process is long now to start. And I must apologize to some of the clients who usually will take 8 months, a year before COVID, now running 2 years and can't get a lot of the things. But we continue to try. I want to thank Dervan, I want to thank Adrian, I want to thank my listeners for continuing to support Land Solutions, and those who called to commend us. And remember, give me a call, 387-3183, if you need further assistance, 387-3183. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Importers, provide proper invoices for customs when presenting goods for examination. This could prevent delays during clearance. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor Agricare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor Agricare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait the love in their hearts. They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
Children learn what they read. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in their hearts. They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fairness, he learns justice.
Children learn what they read. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in their heart. They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world.
Children learn what they read.
Indeed, children live what they learn. The original words were put together by Dorothy Law Nolte. Dorothy Law Nolte, Nolte, a lifelong teacher and lecturer on family dynamics. And the recording of this spoken word piece is by Les Crane, Lescrane. Les Crane. Love, children live what they learn. That's the correct title. Love, children live what they learn. That's the combination for this afternoon's edition of Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM in this Child Month. Hello to all the children listening to us. Let's clear some messages right now. Let's hop across to YouTube. Sean Chambers says, "Good day, Mr. Dervan, and big up yourself, brother Dervan." Thank you, Sean. Leon Robinson says, "Dervan, we're hearing another person talking to you." That's a voice clip we're listening to off the air, which we will play eventually. Asha Ash says, "Hi, Dervan, just tuning in from London, England." Welcome, Asha Ash from London, England. Natalie in Washington Gardens says, "Good afternoon, all from sunshine-filled Washington Gardens, Jamaica. Enjoying the discourse on YouTube. Best regards to all." To you too, Natalie. Norman Hines in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Sir D and listeners. Good afternoon to you too, Norman Hines. Blossom Levy says, a blessed good afternoon, my friend. Hope you're having a great day so far. Indeed we are. Thanks for asking. Hope the same for you and yours, Blossom Levy. Velta Wilson is in St. Thomas. Good afternoon to you, Velta Wilson. Mikey D says, history in the making. He also says, good evening. Still afternoon here in Jamaica, though, Mikey D, but I believe you're in London, aren't you? Good afternoon from Jamaica. Good evening, UK time. It's about 9:36 p.m. in the UK. Randy Williams, welcome. Lorraine Brown, good afternoon to you. I'm fine, thanks. And you? And you take care too. Dalty Mill says, good evening, good afternoon, Dalty Mill. He says, I trust the day is productive for everyone so far, tuning in from Connecticut, otherwise known as Connecticut, as the Americans say. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Blessings to you all. Keep up the great work. And you do likewise, Faye Weller. Carol Boeth, the eternal tourist, is online, taking time out of her going, I think this is her 5th week of vacation now. Week number 5, yes, I believe that's what it is. She says, where did her message go? Let's go back up. She says, good afternoon from paradise, Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. Well, continue to enjoy paradise, Carol. Take it while you can, by all means. Well done. And it's just a reflection. Your choice, your decision is a reflection of what's happening locally, nationally, and globally. Everybody wants to come to Jamaica. 173% increase in visitor arrivals from the United States, right, coming on the heels of the withdrawal of COVID-19 restrictions. The story from the Western Bureau of the Gleaner tells us that Jamaica has secured 1 million airline seats. 1 million airline seats from the United States. And New York and its environs remain the breadbasket for Jamaica's tourism, says Portfolio Minister Edmund Bartlett. That's what he told journalists during the Jamaica Rum Festival launch in Manhattan last Friday night. In Jamaican parlance, we would say, what a way Ed Bartlett bossy. The launch of the Jamaica Rum Festival in Manhattan. And living in Manhattan is not cheap. Anyway, seriously though, not for the first time. They've done it for coffee. The Jamaica Tourist Board, the Ministry of Tourism through the Jamaica Tourist Board. It's what they've been doing for decades. It's been working. And you know what they say in America? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's the brand. It's the brand. The brand sells itself. The brand sells itself and pays for itself, in a manner of speaking, and then some. But we can always do with more. And so the challenge is to raise the amount of that tourism dollar that stays in Jamaica. So that is where the challenge is. We're told it's now 40 cents. Is it 40? Is that what I heard the last time? 40 cents out of every dollar or something like that. Right. Let's go back to the messages. Carol. Oh, and we have a call or two. Let's go to the phone lines and then more of your messages. Hello. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, and who are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I am great so far, doing great. I have two very interesting topics on my mind. But before I get into the topic, do you have a problem if I talk about different topics on this program all the time? If I don't want to talk about the topics that the callers are talking
No, we just want to manage the participation in such a way that the other listeners don't have to call us to complain about people going on and on and on or being all over the place, etc. We're just trying to manage it.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
No, on a serious note though, these topics I'm going to discuss this afternoon is no laughing matter, very serious issues. I remember when I was watching the news the other day, they were talking about the abortion rate. This topic is for all the mothers out there. I'm disappointed in some of these mothers. How could a mother abort her own unborn child? How could she do that? I'm disappointed in some of these mothers.
The debate rages on, and it's not going to end anytime soon on the matter of abortion. We have seen what has happened in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
The latest development, and there are protests for and against. There's a feeling on the one hand, that it's a woman. The woman should be in control of her body, and the woman, it's her body, and she should have a right to choose what to do with her body. And then there are those who take another tact, who take another position, another angle. They say, well, this is a life we're talking about. And then some people say, hold on, hold on. It's not depending on where you are in where the fetus is in its development, or depending on where that is. There's something to be said about whether that is in fact a human being yet, etc. So there are all kinds of debates and discussions. There's the religious argument as well, and therefore, in the Catholic Church, for example, the feeling is, bring them to us. That's what they say. If you're not going to be able to manage the child or to take care of the child, take that child to us. We will take care of the child, but please don't cut short the term or the life of this fetus. So that's it's one of those debates that will continue for some time to come.
Yes, because some of us are young males and females, we don't discuss these issues. These issues are very important issues to be discussed. So,
all right, that's number one. In the interest of time, let's move on. What's number two?
All right, I'm going to share my side of the story, my perspective on this topic. I think I know why a woman aborted her child. Maybe because the woman was raped, and maybe she was sexually harassment or assaulted or whatever, or etc. etc. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that comes up as well in the debate, in the discussions, in the instance that even if abortion remains illegal in some places, whether provisions can be made to take account of instances where someone is raped. So that's a part of the discussion as well.
Yes, because he or she is free to do whatever they want to do, and they're free to be whatever they want to be.
As long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom. And
Right.
there's also the argument of the freedom of that child to live and to survive and to thrive.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give the mothers a word of advice out there that is listening to this program. I'm going to say these to all these women out there that is listening to this.
One moment, please.
Yes.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Janet, what happened to all those goods you're trying to export the other day?
Oh, one phone call to my Spanish contact in Venezuela, and he took the whole lot.
To Venezuela? But you don't speak Spanish?
Not me, man. The Language Training Center. They do all my foreign language transactions.
You know, I have a regular contact in Japan. but I don't speak Japanese.
Then go to the Language Training Center Limited, 31 Harper Tree Road, Kingston 10. Telephone 926-0375 or 3 to 5 4th Street, Montego Bay, 940-1395. The Language Training Center Limited for all your language needs.
Did you know that the flu can lead to hospitalization and even death? Pregnant women, persons 60 years and older, babies and children, and persons with a chronic illness such as diabetes, asthma, or heart disease are at a high risk for complications from the flu. Get the flu vaccine today. Visit your nearest health center and ask to be vaccinated. The flu is no joke. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Farmers and fisher folks, Sagicor has all your answers with coverage for life and health insurance. Tune in this and every Thursday during Farm Talk for the featured Sagicor Agricare Plan as we educate you on the types of coverage they have to offer. That's Sagicor Agricare Plan every Thursday during Farm Talk from 6:33 to 6:45 a.m. Brought to you by Sagicor, affordable life and health insurance for farmers and fisher folk.
He learns confidence. If a child lives with praise.
Thanks for holding. You were about to send a message to mothers, you said?
Yes, yes. I'm going to say this to all the mothers out there. The unborn child that you will give birth to in the future, he or she could be the man or woman of integrity. No matter what child you are going to give birth to, no matter if it's a male or a female, still be satisfied and still be okay with the child.
The message is clear. Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much for having me on your program.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. More messages pouring in. We're going to try to get through as many of them as possible. Thank you for taking the time out to communicate with us on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Quincy Brown says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Question. If TVJ were to extend to you the opportunity to host Profile, would you accept? Quincy Brown, I will withhold my answer to that question because then I might reveal confidential exchanges. So the profile, I don't know that there is a vacancy for Profile right now. That would be my response right now. Quincy Brown, I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but I don't know of there being a vacancy for the post of host for Profile. As I understand it, it's Archibald Gordon who is hosting Profile. But thank you for your kind consideration, Quincy Brown. All the best. He says, enjoying both sides of the story, listening from the Cayman Islands, most informative. Thank you very much, Quincy Brown. Jones Dolores says, so true. Good day to you all. Not sure what the subject she's responding to is, but I guess she could always remind us. Mikey D says, be the change. That's a Barack Obama original, or is it? I think so. He's the one who says, or who said, be the change you want to see. Is that unique to Obama? We'll need to check that, double check that. But so it is. Thank you. Thank you very much for your messages. Let's hop across to YouTube and see what's happening over there. On YouTube, Leon Robinson says, no, we read that one already. Let's go down the line. Eunice Beckford says, good afternoon. it would be interesting to hear what Mr. Littleton Shirley's latest comments re his big announcement last month that on April 18, we, St. Thomas, would see the trucks rolling. Yes, indeed, I do recall that statement by Mr. Littleton Tanny Shirley, and I do recall your response as well at the time. And here we are, and it's still not the 18th of April yet when Mr. Tanny Littleton, Mr. Littleton Tanny Shirley said that the trucks would be rolling unless he was referring to the trucks employed in the being employed in the highway. Trucks have been rolling for some time in that regard, but obviously not yet for the new town center in Morant Bay. Well, thank you for the reminder, Eunice Beckford. That's what vigilant citizens are supposed to do. Hold to the fire the feet of those who occupy pivotal positions in this country. And then she sends us a rejoinder. She says, on the property of the Goodyear factory, May 9, still nothing apart from a digger that was parked there for the past, or you mean that has been parked there for the past month. Littleton Tanny Shirley, let's send a call out for Mr. Tanny Shirley, one of the constituents of the parish of St. Thomas, is reminding you of your words about trucks rolling in on April 18, that the people of St. Thomas would see trucks rolling in. Eunice Beckford is telling us that she hasn't seen any trucks rolling into the development of what was once the Goodyear factory. And she says, today is the 9th of May, still nothing apart from a digger, which is one of those pieces of heavy-duty equipment, I would imagine. But I guess Stanley Shirley might say, well, that's the start. That's the first vehicle. That's the start. Seriously, though. Yeah, well, call him out as you are doing now, Eunice Beckford, and the Factories Corporation of Jamaica as a whole, because they have made some promises, and it's been a while. It has been a while. Thank you for that reminder, Eunice Beckford. Tanny Shirley, where are you? The people of St. Thomas need to know, when are they going to see those trucks rolling into the Goodyear property, the former Goodyear property in St. Thomas? Natalie Winter says, not a bad idea, a matter of fact, wonderful idea to host that program. You're very kind, Natalie Winter. Let's move on. Let's see. Let's go over to WhatsApp. The WhatsApp line, same as the text line, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Albert. Not sure where he is today, if he's back in Coconut Creek, Florida, or still having fun in Connecticut, or as the Americans say, Connecticut. And Samantha is in Manchester in the UK. She says, good afternoon. I lost my mother 23 years ago. Same pain, different day. Oh, we're terribly sorry to hear of the pain you're still bearing. Terribly sorry. It's, we never get over that now, do we? We can try, but it's normal. It's not unusual. It's not abnormal to still harbor those emotions. Yes. Never, she says, sorry, my mistake, never refreshed. Oh, that was in relation to YouTube because she was saying there was no YouTube today. So she refreshed her device and YouTube is streaming. Another message. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Power 106 is not playing on the regular channel that I pick it up on here in St. Anne, 106.7. I tried 106.9, but there's a lot of frying and I have to strain my ears to hear. Can you let the technicians know? Thanks much. And this is coming from Hope in St. Anne. Hope in St. Anne, we trust that our engineers will give us hope when we send your message to them, that they will give us hope, that hope will indeed spring eternal in the Garden Parish of St. Anne, in particular the areas where you've been unable to hear Power 106 any at all, or if even a little. So as we speak, Hope, we are sending your message to the transmission group on WhatsApp, and we hope they will respond in kind. We hope so. Thank you very much. I think we'll leave the messages there for the time being and then give you a quick update on what's been happening news-wise, just in case you've had a busy day so far and haven't been able to catch up on the news. What do we have here? 8 Turkish citizens kidnapped from bus in Haiti. 8 Turkish citizens have been kidnapped in Haiti's capital. That's the word from an official who spoke with the Associated Press today. Apparently, the latest in a string of high-profile kidnappings by powerful gangs. And while we're on the subject of gangs, we have our own gangs we have to be dealing with in Jamaica. There's a trial on right now, and that's also featured in the online edition of the Gleaner, Klansman gang trial. Klansman gang trial. Alleged leader offered member to carry out hit. Witness testifies. CARICOM expresses sadness at deaths in Cuban hotel explosion. Condolences. And can we use this opportunity to convey condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, contemporaries, neighbors of the late Trevor Nairn? I mean, that just didn't even come out the right way. It just still seems unbelievable. Trevor Nairn was, I would say, a gentle giant. He's part of the A team when it comes to really witty productions. It's the team of Trevor Nairn, Lenford Salmon, Trevor Nairn, Lenford Salmon. You know, I had all 3 names in my head until I started calling the names. Trevor Nairn, Lenford Salmon, and Patrick Brown. There you go. Trevor Nairn, Lenford Salmon, Patrick Brown. That's a winning combination in on any production, any significant production. That's a winning team. And that team is one short now with the passing of Trevor Nairn. I remember years ago, I was auditioning for a TV series. I was auditioning for the role of, well, let's take the break and come back.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Combo pack of the feeling best. Sunshine stacks up of the rest. There is no contest, it's the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. We got cheesy, so much caramel crunch, potato chips, well come and get it, yeah. Combo pack of the feeling best. Sunshine stacks up of the rest. There is no contest, it's the best mix, so we feeling best.
Enjoy Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack. Best mix, best value.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
The Pesticides Control Authority, PCA, of the Ministry of Health has been onboarded to the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. Effective April 11, 2022, the Pesticides Control Authority, PCA, has been facilitating online applications of all import permits for pesticides, herbicides, fumigants, and other related products. Traders under agents will now be able to make online application to obtain both pre- and approved permits, and also make payment for the PCA import cess. Benefits include a single application for multiple items within the same shipment, faster processing, increased convenience, and the ease of doing business. The PCA import permit service now on J-SWIFT.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:02. 现在几点了？4:02. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick before going to see the doctor. How about that? Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Para 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We did mention on Friday, was it? I think it was on Friday that we mentioned that this is a special month for Dr. Janice Palmer Tomlinson and the team from Wellington Dental, because this year marks 30 years of Wellington Dental at 57 Wellington Street in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Not sure if it's been there all 30 years, but we will find out, because joining us right now is Dr. Janice Palmer Tomlinson. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for having me, Dervan.
And I trust you had an enjoyable Mother's Day yesterday.
Yes, quiet and restful.
Very good, very good. Let's talk about Wellington Dental at 30. What does that look like?
Well, a continuation of good service, and we hope to improve our service and what we can do. I've actually, I won't say remodeled, but I repainted my waiting room and changed its look. So I'm starting the year 30 with a different look, hopefully a brighter look. And like I said, I just wanted to celebrate with many of my loyal clients that have helped me stay in business.
And can you take us back to the genesis, where it all began, where it started? Whose idea?
Well, I used to work in Kingston in Crossroads on Melmac Avenue, and I was working for a dentist who was overseas, and he gave me notice, and so
there being an active dentist, had already started buying up and putting things aside because my father said that dentist is not going to sell his practice and you can't be there forever. You need to prepare to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to move on sooner than I was prepared for, but I thought of rental in Kingston being much higher. And Spanish Town at the time only had 4 dentists, and I was going to make number 5. I said I would grow faster in Spanish Town. So that's how Spanish Town came to be, and
And is it the same location you're at today that you were at when you started?
No. I used to be at 26 to 28 Wellington Street, which was upstairs with Jamaica National Building. I was sharing space with Dr. Kenbaugh, the politician, the medical doctor.
Former Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade as well, I believe.
Yes. So I was sharing space with them. They actually were very generous and helped grew my practice because many of their loyal patients became my patients. Because what it was that, okay, you're going to the doctor, going to go to the dentist too, since you're going to take my whole day. I said the 2 of them one shot and done. And that was actually how it was done. They came, they saw me first, and by the time Dr. Ball came in and got rolling, and they go over to Dr. Ball and go home. So that was it.
Talk to us about the technology. Is the technology in dentistry a settled matter now, or is it still evolving in terms of the tools and the gadgets and other pieces of equipment that are employed in dentistry?
No, man. Technology, like in medicine, we're always improving.
Yes.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But things are changing. We're getting better X-rays, better everything. Some things just haven't changed, though.
Mm-hmm.
The needle, most of us still use it because it's the cheapest thing that we can have.
Yes.
There are methods of giving you local anesthetic without a needle, but it's pretty expensive.
Oh.
And many of us can't afford, can't. Our patients are not going to be willing to pay for that thing. But if you even go to the orthodontist, you see that they've changed. Impressions are now to take dentures and so on there. Those of us that can afford it are now going where it's being scanned and stored in a computer or a special machine. And then the things are fabricated. Usain Bolt has actually partnered with a group, with a scanning group, and they plan to come down and do some things, and it will help do crown and bridge dentures. So we're changing, evolving.
Very good.
And who knows what's going to be 20 years from now.
Yeah, we can only imagine. And even then, we still can't imagine. And how about your team? I get the impression it's an intimate team, which has years of experience.
Oh, like I said, all my associates that work with me, I saw some mentors. Dr. Jones, who's been my longest associate, I actually was introduced to her before she wanted to go to dental school. She came and talked to me, and I told her about Howard, because that's where I went, Howard School of Dentistry. So that's where she went. This was before we had our local dental school. When she came home and got settled and so on, and she came to me, "You have a job?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was there. And she went away to specialize, do the pediatric dentistry.
come back. She's here, which is because she works for the government as well, so she's with me part-time. My other two associates, they're locally trained at UTech. And one, when he decided to do dentistry, said he needed exposure, and he's from Spanish Town, so he went and looked at a few places, and unfortunately he looked at some cracks and then thought, Lord, is this what I'm going into? And some of his family members said, no, man, go Dr. Palmer. Help you. Came here, well, he says I had him.
Sorry, the connection is getting a little shaky. I'm not sure why.
I don't know. Okay.
Yes, much better there now. Hold that position, please.
Right. So he said I had him waiting 2 hours. I don't remember that, but I know he was serious. So I told him he could come back on Saturdays, and he came most Saturdays and observed and helped out and got a general feeling. I helped him to pass his exam, meaning I made certain he was ready for every aspect of his board exam. Gave him the equipment and supplies to do it. When he passed, he was like, he went on a break and he called me. He says, Dr. Palmer, they want to send me to Clarendon, and I don't want to go. The first government. And I said, but you have a job here. He said, really? I said, yes. And he said, fine, go. He's going to tell government goodbye. And so he's been with me for 7 years.
Just
His
like that.
younger brother, similar thing, but he's only with me part-time. And, I mean, my staff has changed and turned over the years. This is not what I started with, but most people are with me for at least 4 to 5 years. I've had some. Two of them, one I have part-time, she's been with me for 22 years.
That says a lot. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, our guest is Dr. Janice Palmer Tomlinson. She is can we say, the magnet behind behind Wellington Dental at 57 Wellington Street in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. This month of May is a very busy one, Exporters Month, Child Month, and hey, it's Wellington Dental Month because this is the month in which Wellington Dental turns 30 years of Wellington Dental. And so is it one of those promotions where what do they say? It's their birthday or their anniversary, but you get the prize or the presents. But
well, we have had last week Saturday we had a little celebration, meaning we had a party, not really a party, but a little get together. And patients turned up, they got gifts, they said good things about me. I don't know how many of them are true. And there's a little dancing, and they were fed, and it was a nice event, and smaller than I had planned, but it was a nice event. Earlier on in the week also, we did a discount for 3 days, 40% off. My staff is now telling me I need to do it again, but I'm not certain when, so they're going to have to list out on my Twitter page and Facebook page. The next 3 days of 40% off will be announced.
Hold on, don't move. One moment. We'll come back for the Facebook page details in just a moment.
Get high-quality blinds and beautiful windows, drapes, and wooden flooring from Sam the Blind Man, 40 Barnett Street, Montego Bay. The time by Sam the Blind Man is 4:15.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Colonel Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Children live what they learn. Teach them to
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在几点了？4:16. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Just before the break, we've been continuing our featuring of the story of Wellington Dental at 30. Wellington Dental at 30. That's the subject that has been the subject for the last couple of segments. And we're delighted to have with us Dr. Janice Palmer Tomlinson of Wellington Dental. So you were telling us going to the break about your Facebook, your discount, a continuation of the discount, and also sending our listeners to your Facebook page.
Yes, but I don't know. I'm getting that information from my office manager now.
Okay.
Because it's one of the things I don't know.
Yeah. Well, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. There's a lot to keep track of, and it's not easy for those of us who have these platforms and all kinds of messages and requests and notes and so on and so forth. It can be quite a lot to take in at once, if at all. But
let me give you
yes,
Instagram.
please.
It's Wellington with underscore dental. The Wellington is in capital, the dental is not.
So Wellington in caps, underscore dental in lowercase.
Yeah.
Right, so listeners on Instagram, if you want to follow Wellington Dental on Instagram, it's Wellington in bold letters, in caps, in capital letters, underscore dental, and dental is in lowercase. Right, so that's, go ahead.
Facebook is Wellington Dental.
And on Facebook, Wellington Dental. So you're saying that special is still going on? What did you say, 40%?
No. We're going to announce another 3 to 4 days, but they're going to have to look on
Instagram
and
Facebook,
and it will be put on there.
All right, so those who have been thinking, you know what, I need to go for a cleaning or some other operation or procedure at Wellington Dental, but I want to take advantage of the discount, so I'm going to listen out for when that is, or I'm going to follow. So you have to go on to on the Facebook page, the Wellington Dental Facebook page, or the Wellington Dental Instagram.
And
To
the Twitter is it's Wellington Dent 1.
Wellington Dent 1 on Twitter. So there you are, the suite of social media platforms available to you, our faithful listeners, and for you to take advantage. So follow Wellington Dental on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter, and you will know the moment, that the next deal or special will be. Right, Doc?
Yes.
Well, so what would you like to say as you mark your 30th anniversary of Wellington Dental? What would you like to say to your, let's start with your internal customers, your associates who you've worked with over the years, and those you are currently working with? What is your 30th anniversary word to them?
I want to say, it may be time to come and visit if we haven't seen you in a while. Because a checkup is necessary. A checkup is necessary. Medically, a checkup is necessary. Once you have teeth, and even if you don't have teeth, a checkup is necessary. If a dentist does more than just teeth. We look at the gum. We check for cancer. So just thinking that you don't have any teeth doesn't mean that there's no need for a checkup.
Yeah.
Because there's cancer of the mouth.
Yes, indeed. In fact, I was at what's the name of that? It's that vigil that is usually hosted by the Cancer Society, and the speaker one year was a man who had cancer of the tongue, and he was still able to speak clearly enough for us to understand what he was saying. But it's just amazing how this thing called cancer just decides which part of the body it is going to.
Any part of
Yes.
the body. I actually have one patient who has cancer of the tongue, and she's going through a hard time because couldn't do surgery, so she could only do the radiation and chemotherapy.
So how do you just detect, or does your practice allow you to go beyond what you know, the everyday cleaning and related matters?
We did. I mean, I'm a general practitioner, so we detect and we forward on to the specialist, the oral surgeon. Sometimes it might be ENT, depending on exactly where the position of the growth is. And of course, yes, I send them to the oral surgeon for the biopsy. Because it needs to be diagnosed to see what type of cancer it may be.
Yes.
But it's just one of those things, and if you go regularly, your practitioner knows what you have. They can notice changes. And if you even have changes, you talk to them and tell them what issue is different. What's wrong? What's bothering you? It all helps with the diagnosis. Just the same like going to the doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, my toe hurts. Why you hurt? The toe hurts. You put your toe or something else.
Yes.
So, it's the same thing in the mouth. Do you eat a piece of ice? You eat a piece of bone? That's how we look for cracked teeth. There's so many things. It's not just clean, poor fill. There's a lot more other things there.
No question about that.
Sometimes we're surprised at what we see.
I can only imagine. Yes. And then of course now there's the matter as it relates to your uh, the children. At what age should I take my child to Wellington Dental at 57 Wellington Street? How early, how soon should that child be taken to see the dentist?
It's recommended at age one. At age one, you're not really doing anything but observation and examination. But you can see things from early, and it also gets the child used to the setting
So
and the procedures.
I see.
Because some of them are very uncooperative. So you have once they come in and they come in from early and keep coming in. By the time they really need to do something, they will sit in the chair and do what's to be done.
Yeah.
Oh, but not all, but some do.
Yeah. And I well I was going on to ask if there's still, if you how do you deal with a child who is just uncomfortable in that chair, or how do you what
It depends on what they have to do. If they're
okay
cleaning and they're screaming and so on, you go ahead. I just block my ears and keep working.
yes
Because a child can't cry with their mouth closed. It's always open, wide open, so you can get this.
I've never thought of thought of it that way.
This is true. I mean, when I was doing teaching with some of the dental students, I said, listen, if they cry, you can see every tooth in there. Go in quick and there, you have to go and come out. And I said, no, you go in quick. Do what you have to do and come out.
That makes
so our
sense.
problem is going to be now if they have to do any other procedures, like extraction and so on. And how we proceed sometimes depends on what the parent wants done and what it is. If the tooth is badly broken down, whatever must come out,
Yes.
we hold them. The parents hold them, whatever. There are different ways of holding. Sometimes the parent is in the chair and holding the child. That's when they're very small. When they're a bit bigger, I might have the child in the chair and the parent lie on top of the child and wrap themselves around. Or I have one or two of my staff hold the head so it doesn't move and so on. But then most of the restraint depends on the child.
And you always have to,
happen.
yes, always have to do it with a dose of love, right?
Oh, yes, because I've been bit, spit on everything.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, man. Some of these some of them are rude, but a lot of that, it can be frightening. It's frightening for others. Sometimes it's much more frightening for them. Some of my parents said, but Doc, you explain everything to them more than you do to us. I said, because I want them to be comfortable.
Yes.
But you have a different, you come because you need to have something done. But they're not here willingly. So sometimes I explain what the procedure is. If I'm giving them more anesthetic, what I'm going to do, when I'm going to prepare a tooth for filling, I tell them what the thing sounds like and show them what the different things are, function, and make them hear it before we actually use it in the mouth. So they know the sounds and are less likely to grab and jump. And I tell them if they jump, the things they're using are spinning and maybe cutting, and you don't want it to cut the wrong thing. So I tell them, if you feel pain, put up your hand. I will come out your mouth.
One moment.
Put up your hand, same time.
Don't move. We'll come back and wrap and give you an opportunity again, and we'll assist in that regard in reminding our listeners who wish to benefit from that discount, that 30th anniversary, the next round of discount, so to speak. Follow them on Instagram, YouTube, I beg your pardon, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30.
Teach them to wait, love in their hearts, and they will find love.
Dr. Janice Palmer Tomlinson of Wellington Dental at 57 Wellington Street in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, has been sharing with us the story of Wellington Dental. It's been 30 years. This is year number 30 in the month of May. And we've been learning about the evolution of Wellington Dental. How going forward as we wrap, because we know you still have matters to deal with, Dr. Palmer Tomlinson. What do you see as the vision? What's your vision for Wellington Dental going forward? This is year number 30. And I know you mentioned a bit of refreshing of, repainting and so on. But outside of that, how do you view, what's the vision? What are you seeing down the road?
Well, I know I have some more years left in this profession. I don't know how long I will be in here, but I think I will go to the 40, so I think I still can manage that. I hope to always have an associate in here, and when I'm ready to leave, I hope I'll have someone in here who's willing to take over and to my standard. Because the problem is sometimes it's not the work, it's management and managing an office, managing staff. When we're sent to school, we were not trained on how to run a business. And this is a business. And the business has changed. When I started, it was word of mouth. One of my mentors, because the one thing about many of the Jamaican dentists, they're willing to help you, willing to assist. And when I was coming to Spanish Town, he said, do some volunteer work. That's the way your practice will grow. So I've been working with the Lions Club for almost 30 years doing volunteer work. And many of those people come to me to do the additional things, the fillings, the dentures, etc. Because at the clinic, we were only doing extraction. And we just grow. I guess things have changed. I have changed. I have technology. We have intraoral cameras. We can look at the teeth. I have panoramic X-ray, which I didn't have 10 years ago. So we have done changes, improvements, and so on. It's just that we cannot take up every technology and run with it because these things are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive. We try and get what can work, what we know can enhance our practice and enhance our patient comfort.
Got you. As we wrap, we want you to remind us. So you're going to publish or publicize at some point in the near future, the very near future, further discounts for those who visit Wellington Dental.
Yes. So our Instagram is Wellington_dental. The Wellington, Wellington, the W is in capital letters, and the dental is in small letters. Everything is on the lowercase, as you see. Facebook, Wellington Dental, the capital for the W. We have TikTok, Wellington Dental 1. Twitter, Wellington Dent 1. So we have all those things. I don't manage those, but I have managers and front desk staff to do because dentistry is a lot of
True.
So we must be on social media. My older people, word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. My father patient, he was going to recommend a friend of his here. And the man said, we don't know that man, I can help you. He said it was such a laugh. He said, you need to do them. I like, oh, the lady, then this is nice. And when I'm telling him, tell my name, and I'm saying, I already know I over too. So, this is it.
It's a labor of love.
Yes. So they've learned. At one time, I thought everyone in Spanish Town and its environment knew me, and I had a rude awakening several years ago, and I realized, okay, I'm not as widely known as I thought, so you still need to put out. And I think all of us need to think that in any business, we can't rest on our laurels. We have to continually provide and work.
Indeed, and the work continues. Congratulations once again on 30 years of high quality service to the community of Spanish Town and elsewhere. No doubt you have your clients from all over. Yes. Well done.
Thank you so much, Dervan.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and happy 30th anniversary once again to you and the team at Wellington Dental.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Bye-bye. Take care. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, we concluded a short while, just concluded our conversation with a lady we always enjoy having on the program, Dr. Janice Palmer Tomlinson from Wellington Dental. Remember to check out their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok platforms to find out when and how much of a discount you'll be getting as you get ready to go to Wellington Dental. How about that? Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And we thank our long-standing, long-serving team member, Vivette Malcolm, for coordinating that segment just now. Let's see. Mikey D, we read that message already. Be the change, he says. And Sylvia Myers says, keep up the good work. Thank you, Sylvia Myers. And let's see. Sharon Wiles is online as well. I think she just sent us a message. Dr. Sharon Wiles says, greetings from New York. Greetings to you too, Dr. Sharon Miles, Minister Sharon Miles, the multi-talented Sharon Miles. Dr. Sharon Miles, good afternoon to you. Hope you're staying nice and warm in New York. All the best. Thank you very much for connecting this afternoon on your program, Both Sides of the Story. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
It's not good news.
Not good news? What happened?
No, I'm not hearing your station from Friday morning.
Yeah, we've been getting the complaints, so we're going to have to add your voice to those complaints.
Yeah,
so sorry about that.
I hope your engineering department can do a good recovery job in the shortest possible time.
Yeah.
When we don't hear from power, we miss a lot.
Yes, we no. If you think you feel it, check me. I've been feeling it. I've been feeling it. I just anyway. Let me let me hold that for the time being. But we really trust that the engineers will get on top of it sooner than later. It's been a while.
Yeah, because the power is a good thing, but we're not getting the right type of power.
Yes, you're on
power failure and power cut.
And low voltage.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, but terribly sorry to hear that that has been your experience.
Yeah.
We can only refer to the engineers and trust that they are working night and day to fix the problem or problems.
Yeah, I know, but I don't expect your station to be done that long.
Agreed.
They,
It shouldn't be.
they the pioneer in the field and endowed with a lot of financial resources.
Yeah, well, I
Equipment should be up and
yes.
running in no time.
Mm, indeed.
Do you agree with that?
Well, we would like to think that management is seized of the importance of ensuring that all systems are indeed going, and if they're not going, then they must be made to go.
Because when you have minor stations running around the clock and people able to listen,
Well, we've always talked about IRI FM on this program and this station. That it's one thing I've always noticed. Wherever in Jamaica you go, you will always be able to pick up IRI FM. Always, wherever in Jamaica.
IRI is very near to me, you know.
So my solution is simple. Use the IRI example wherever they have placed their transmitters. Find a spot in that area. That's what I would do.
All right, you have a good day.
Thanks for the call, and sorry to hear that you have not been hearing us.
All right, okay.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-411-225. Let's go over to the WhatsApp line, which is also our text line. We haven't checked in with our contributors on that platform in a while. Let's see. All right, so here's a response from the transmission TV, radio, WhatsApp group in relation to a message we sent from Hope in St. Anne. And the message from our engineers or our team of engineers is no GPS power at the site and the standby generator is not working. No GPS power at the site and the standby generator isn't working. So hopefully one or both would be made to work or get back into action pretty soon. Let's see. Ricardo is shouting out everybody as usual. Let's see what else he's saying here. Since we were little, our mothers have been our trusted confidants, best friends and support systems, no matter how far away we've landed. That said, a mother's love is a beautiful thing that can't be captured in just one word. Thanks for sharing, Ricardo. Are those your words? Thank you for sharing. And some more here. Angelia Christian in London is pleased to share with us a video showing the near completion of refurbishment work at the Information Technology IT suite at Freehill Primary School, Freehill Primary and Infant School. And we're told that floor tiles, wall painting, new windows, new furniture, chairs, computers, accessories. That's exciting news, Angelia Christian. Education is the only way. There's more after the break.
If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
You're listening to Power 106 FM, the The time is now
4:45.
Attention plumbers, contractors, homeowners. If you need plumbing, see Master Plumber for genuine and hard-to-get plumbing materials, spare parts, hardware, and household items. From Makati Street, Montego Bay, 952-0001. Master Plumber, we have the plumbing for your water. Janet, what happened to all those goods you're trying to export the other day?
Oh, one phone call to my Spanish contact in Venezuela, and he took the whole lot.
To Venezuela? But you don't speak Spanish?
Not me, man. The language training center. They do all my foreign language transactions.
You know, I have a regular contact in Japan, but I don't speak Japanese.
Then go to the Language Training Center Limited, 31 Harper-Tree Road, Kingston 10. Telephone 926-0375 or 3-5 4th Street, Montego Bay, 940-1395. The Language Training Center Limited for all your language needs.
With security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval,
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il au français? Les 5h moins 14. 现在几点了？5点14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Poro 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Let's go to the year 1927. 1927, Brevet Colonel Oscar Moresco died at his residence in Cherry Gardens, St. Andrew. On this day in 1927, Brevet Colonel Oscar Moresco died at his residence in Cherry Gardens, St. Andrew. Brevet Colonel was the son of the late Oscar Moresco, Custos of St. Andrew, and a former manager of the Colonial Bank in Jamaica. Since retiring from the British Army, he had been living in Jamaica. Moresco Road in St. Andrew is named for his father. So that's Moresco, Marescaux. Brevet Colonel Oscar Moresco died at his residence in Cherry Gardens on this day in 1927. The brevet colonel was the son of the late Oscar Moresco, Custos of St. Andrew, and a former manager of the Colonial Bank of Jamaica. Since retiring from the British Army, he had been living in Jamaica. His name lives on in Moresco Road in Crossroads, St. Andrew, Jamaica. And there's another bit. We always hear about the great Dr. the Honorable Selwyn Carlton Alexander. He was born in Montego Bay on this day in 1916 to Selwyn Augustus and Rosina Alexander. Selwyn Carlton Alexander died at age 73 on the 23rd of May, 1989. The Grace Kennedy Foundation was established in memory with $4.5 million to help education in Jamaica. The beneficiary of the fund were, at the time, institutions with which Mr. Alexander was affiliated. Selwyn Carlton Alexander is acknowledged as a rare patriot to Jamaica. And let's see if we can share with you a few more before we have to wrap. Oh, did we neglect to mention today is Maurice Foster's birthday? Happy birthday, Maurice Foster. Happy birthday. And let's look at 1947 now. For the first time in 70 years since World War II, a shipment of booby eggs, the popular choice of many a breakfast table, arrived on the yawl Sunny South in Kingston Harbor. This first shipment of the speckled dainties from the migrating birds of the Morant and Pedro Keys is the harbinger of bigger things to come, as the Sunny South brings only 6 boxes. The first full boatload was expected in a few days when the Mabel Hope was due from the Pedro Keys. Lying about 30 miles east of Port Morant, the Keys are low, sandy islands. Laying season for the birds is from May to July, when the eggs are collected by lessees and sent by boat to Jamaica. This 1947's lessees were Len Blackmore and A.F. Schleifer. Must be a German, Schleifer, who employed about 30 collectors. Collections began on the 4th of May with the full moon. This first sample shipment was sold to vendors at £4 per thousand and retailed to the public at 2 pence each, 2 pence. And let's go to 1950. 1,000 workers a day at peak it was announced, 1950, on this day, that 1,000 workers a day at peak will be employed by Reynolds Jamaica Mines Limited in St. Anne during their development program of the next 2 years. Jamaica Bauxite Limited in Manchester would employ at peak 1,750 per day when maximum production is attained. But it was likely to be several years before full production of those companies was attained, and none of them would be in production before the middle of 1952. These facts emerged from an official report from the House of Representatives. And do we have another one for you? Hold on there. Let's come down the line here and see. On this day in 1960, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approved the world's first commercially produced birth control pill. Let's see. What was it called? Enovid 10, made by the G.D. Searle Company of Chicago, Illinois. Development of the pill, as it became popularly known, was initially commissioned by birth control pioneer Margaret Sanger and funded by heiress Catherine McCormick. Sanger, who opened the first birth control clinic in the United States in 1916, hoped to encourage the development of a more practical and effective alternative to contraceptives that were in use at the time. And let's see. Let's go to 1962. 60 years ago, on this day in 1962, the University of the West Indies was in the news. According to the caption of the Gleaner's front page, on this day in 1962, Theology Faculty for UWI. The story was that after approximately 2 years of constant and detailed top-level negotiations, the University of the West Indies had agreed in principle to the creation of a faculty of theology in the very near future at the university campus Mona. Protestant seminaries formed one unit, and the World Council of Churches committed to financing this new theology faculty at the UWI. And just wanted to share another bit. Let's go to 1970. On this day in 1970, national hero Alexander Bustamante's statue was erected at South Parade in downtown Kingston under the direction of contractor A.D. Scott, but it was hidden from the public view by crocus, what we call crocus bag. Here they have crocus cloth, until the unveiling later in the month. 1972, Prime Minister Michael Manley told Parliament the government had decided to stop the national lottery 3 months after June 1, as it is not regarded as an appropriate instrument of economic development. The notice given was to enable the employees of the National Lottery Commission to find alternative employment. The lottery was introduced in Jamaica on the 7th of December, 1968, and the funds generated were marked for labor-intensive projects. And going down the line, let's see if we can get, what time is it? We can give you a couple more. So for those of us who are concerned about high prices and prices going up and this and that going up, in 1978, the headline in the newspaper of the day read, Bell announces 3-year economic package after IMF talks, 15% devaluation, 180.3 million in new taxes, gas $3 per gallon, cigarettes 60 cents, beer up 55 cents, and alcohol. So what is beer if not alcohol? And alcohol up too. So this was 1978. 15% devaluation, $180.3 million in new taxes, $3 for gas, $3 per gallon for gasoline in Jamaica, and cigarettes 60 cents, beer was up 55 cents, and other alcoholic beverages. That was 1978. Let's back up to 1971. Retailers of poultry meat were informed that the price would be increased from 40 cents to 43 cents per pound in the corporate area. In rural areas, the price would move from 41 to 44 cents per pound. We've always had to deal with inflation, and for as long as there's life on earth, we will always have to deal with inflation. It's a fact of life. It is a fact of life. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 9th of May, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in the heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wake the love in the heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they learn.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.